as an attendee, as a panelist, so I had to find the link again.
Oh my goodness, we are having all the fun here. So I have made an executive decision and we're now going live on YouTube because
okay, cool.
Another option. I'm just going to check that that is actually happening so that we can, get people to experience your awesomeness. So I have made an executive decision. Yes. We're now going live. There we are. Okay, so welcome everybody. We have found our platform. Obviously, we just needed to go off Facebook. It was not our friend today. And we're going to have a little chat about the Initiate program, not about technical challenges, really. So, excuse me, that light is... The sun's come out, it's glorious. I'm just bemoaning, Laura and I were bemoaning the fact that it's frosty and freezing where she is, and I'm having a very nice time in the tropics. So my darling, I would love for you to basically just share your experiences with us. You completed the guided version of the Initiate program finished late last year, or was it the beginning of this year?
It was about this time last year, the very first round. Yeah.
And I would love to kind of find out what brought you to it, because I think it's a really interesting thing that guides people into this program, because it's different for everyone.
It was one of those things that just divine timing, really. So for all of my life, I have always believed that people had intuitive powers and all of that kind of thing, but I thought it was only special people that had these things. It was never something that I thought that I had. And I'd be doing some work with an energy healer, and she had been looking into my ancestral lineage and had picked up on both sides of my family very strong intuitive lines going back many generations. And that sort of sparked off a bit of a bit of self-discovery, really. And then that was just before your book came out. And so, of course, I read the book twice, I think. I read the book. And then, of course, the program came out, and I just went, this is the thing that I need right now to really start to delve into all of this, because a lot of it was very much an unknown, or it was all very new to me at that point in time. So, yes, it was totally divine timing.
Oh, that's such a great story. And I mean, what a powerful confirmation, to see that this is not new to your lineage. But I think, that we, as you say, again and again and again in the book and in the program, it's everybody's birthright to be able to access this, but it's just how we do it. And yeah, so I guess, one of the things I love about the program is that it gives you access to your intuition, but in a completely different way to what you might think you're going to do. And I would love to know, what was the part of the program that really kind of got you excited? Was it the lectures or the practices or the...
The bit that I loved the most actually was the getting together as a group on the tutorial sessions and just being able to hang out with everybody and see where everybody was at. I mean, we were all at different steps in that journey. There were a lot of people that were, much further along than I was. And then there were people like me sort of at the very beginning, but we could all learn from each other. And I really love just getting to hang out with everyone for an hour every week or so and just ask questions and that kind of thing. And often I found sometimes I didn't know I had a question until someone else asked it. And so that was always really good, just to kind of open up a little bit more to where everyone else was at as well. So yeah, I loved those tutorials. They were awesome.
I agree. I think that is, the reason I'm doing another guided version now, which wasn't sort of in the schedule, is because the power of gathering together is huge. And I think you picked up a really important point there, is that everybody comes into this program at different levels of experience and different ideas about what intuition is. And some people are living from it, some people are making their living from it. But it's that group dynamic, that peer-to-peer learning, that getting to kind of, as you say, have your own stuff processed by someone else asking a question, and you kind of go, oh yeah, it's very, very powerful. And I think the connection in the group as well, the Facebook group, and even that space for people to share their own experiences is really powerful. Did you find it easy to... What's my question? I guess I'm interested in for someone who at that point was saying, okay, what's your experience, did you feel like it was easy to ask your questions, or did you feel like you felt uncertain of yourself? I'm kind of interested in what it felt like.
No, I think it was a really lovely, safe space, because the people that were further along in their journey were always happy to support other people as well. So it wasn't always just relying on you, although you were obviously very active in there in the tutorials and answering questions and things. But as a community, other people in the community were happy to share their viewpoints and their experience and that kind of thing as well. So there was never a point in time where I thought, oh God, I'm not supposed to be here. Like, this is not the place for me. I always felt like it was the right thing that I needed at that point in time. And I think for me, like, I'm so excited that you're going to do another round, because I'm totally going to do it again, because every time you do something, you get something extra out of it. You know, I was at this point, so I got what I needed then. Now I'm, so much further along, so I can go back through the material and see what I can get the next time round and continue on that path. So
having said that, I would love for you to kind of reflect on what has changed about your relationship to your intuition in that last year or so.
Well, I guess it was fairly non-existent, to be honest, when I first started. And look, there's still a ways to go. I think for a long time, the biggest thing for me was actually learning to listen to it and to trust what I was hearing, rather than second guessing it and going, oh no, that's not quite right. And for me, I just got into the habit of doing little things as, baby steps. So it might be when I leave work for the day, I can either turn left or I can turn right. So I do little things like that and go, okay, which way am I going today? And really started to do that, to learn to actually trust what I was feeling or getting, so that I could then sort of take those baby steps and begin to listen to that for the bigger things. So yeah, I still feel like I'm very early in that journey, but I'm getting there every day. Every day is another step forward. So,
but that's it, that's how we build the muscle. And I think that's the thing, is to, my emphasis is on, this is not something you use on special occasions or when you've got a big question. It's every moment of my life. Am I willing to just go with the flow, which is what living in intuition feels like? And you're describing that, people often associate it with big flashes of lightning and thunderbolts. And it's like, I suddenly know my life path. But actually, it's like every single breath is guided if we are willing to receive that guidance, and you're absolutely doing it in the right way. And I love how the ego makes us think that there's this kind of linear path to getting more intuitive. I love how our ego does it. It withholds it from us. One of the big focuses, of course, of the program is building spiritual self-esteem. So you have to build your sense of self-worth. Was that something that you were surprised by or benefited from?
Definitely benefited from. So this year in particular has been a big year of change for me in my personal life. Like, from where I was this time last year, pretty much everything is different. And I'm so grateful that I actually had done that program, because now I had the tools to kind of support myself through releasing a lot of fear and letting go of a lot of stuff that was no longer serving me, and raising my vibration and focusing on creating the new, rather than being stuck in the old and playing the victim and all of that kind of stuff. So I'm really grateful, actually, because I think if I hadn't had those tools, then certainly the last 6 months of my life would have been a lot more challenging than they have been. So that's amazing. And through that, I have, as you said, been able to build the self-esteem and kind of just accept, who I am as a person and grow into that person. So
I love hearing that, because for me, that's the success. Like, that's what success would feel like to me, to hear you say that, because it's like, this intuition has to be applied. It has to be useful. It has to be in the day to day. Otherwise, it's going to remain a trinket and superstition of the new age. And what you're saying is that, that capacity to trust yourself through massive life changes because of those tools and practices and just building the muscle is very, very important for me to hear, because it kind of means that things are working, I guess. Because one of the things is, the best way to build your intuition in my work is you meet your fear. And it sounds like you've had lots of opportunity to meet your fear in the last
Oh yes, I definitely have.
Do you have a particular practice that you draw on still? Was there anything that really you loved? Because there's always
so one of the things that I have done, and I'm very much a creature of habit and routine. Anyone who knows me will not find that a surprise, but heart coherence every single day, first thing in the morning, heart coherence for at least 5 minutes. That, I mean, no better way to start the day, really. So yeah, that's my favorite. But I think too, just getting into a regular meditation practice and getting me out of my head has been fantastic as well. So
yeah, because intuition doesn't live here, it lives here. So you know, this is also another thing we have to kind of get literally out of our heads, out of that idea that it's the third eye, and that's where we, you know, we're operating from, into that heart brain that you're talking about, that you optimize when you go into heart coherence. For those who don't know, is a practice from HeartMath Institute, which we've kind of I guess we've turned it a little bit more spiritual, including that touch at the center of the chest. But if that's all you did for the rest of your life, that is going to guarantee that your intuition will grow, even if you never thought about intuition. Because when we switch on our heart brain, we are in congruence, we're living our best life. And I think it's also really good for people to hear that, you know, the changes that come when you give your life over to your intuition, when you say, yes, I want to turn it on, may not be easy and they may not be comfortable, but they're leading. You know, they're leading you to your truth. And that's kind of what we're all, you know, you can't turn on intuition and then ignore it. You can, but you usually make yourself really sick, and you probably felt that resistance yourself, like trying to hold on to the old paradigm when the new ones try to birth. It's really uncomfortable.
Yeah, definitely. So again, you know, having those tools to work through it and let go of the stuff that was no longer serving me. Yeah, wonderful, brilliant. So
I want to ask you a question, because you're really good, as you say, at routine. How did you make sure that, I guess one of the things about any program we're part of is consistently turning up each week. Like, how did you kind of make sure that you did keep showing up and keep doing the work?
Well, I guess for me, the easiest way to get into the habit of the meditation and stuff is just to do it first thing in the morning when I get up. And then that's just what I always do every morning when I get up. You know, and it just becomes part of the routine. In terms of showing up for, you know, for the classes and actually doing the work of the program, I put it in my diary and also in my Asana, because everything I do is in my Asana. So I schedule the weekly, you know, the tutorials and things into my diary, and I turn up to them as I would if it was a client appointment or something like that. And I actually prioritize the time to do the work, because if you don't make time for it, it's not going to happen. So yeah, I put it there and make sure that it happens.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I think it's really important, because I think, you know, people can commit to these sorts of things and then not schedule it in. And because you don't, it's not like, you know, you have to turn up somewhere physically. It can be really easy to lose that momentum. But I think having the Facebook group, having that accountability of the weekly live calls does help that. And then, of course, as you say, actually scheduling it like an appointment with yourself is a really great plan. Awesome. You can come in and tell everyone how to make the most out of the program, because I think that's it. That's the thing. It's like you've got to do the work, otherwise the program, it can take years. I want to ask you then, if someone is considering this and they're watching this, and what would you say to them about it? What is it that you think would be most useful for someone to hear if they're thinking about making this commitment?
I would say if you're hesitating, just jump in, because there's no way that you won't not get anything from it. Even if all you do is show up for the weekly tutorials, you're still going to get something out of that. And I think it's one of those things, because you do get access. It's not just you do it once and that's it. You do get access to it again. It's one of those things that you can do time and time again, and you can get something out of it every single time and continue to kind of grow and build those skills and those muscles and things. So, you know, there's no way that you're going to invest in it and get nothing from it. So I think people should just jump in and do it.
I agree, amazingly. I think you're absolutely right. You know, we talked about at the beginning how there's people at all different levels of perceived experience. It's not linear, but certainly some people had more time thinking about their intuition and studying it. But this is foundational knowledge, and when, you know, the foundation of anything that we give our time to, we need to revisit in order to continue to grow on a strong foundation. So I do love that, you get access to the program for the life of the program. I think that really helps, because we do need to hear this stuff more than once, for sure.
Yeah,
I need
absolutely.
to hear it every day. Which is why I wrote a book about it, so that I can keep reading it.
Exactly.
Oh, my darling. I'm so grateful for your insight and perspective, and your courage as well, because I know this has been a really big year, and you know, I'm really grateful that you feel supported by what happened during that program and the tools that you keep working with. I think it's that's just made my heart feel very full. So thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Yeah. And thank you everyone for joining us, and apologies for the tech challenges, but we made it. I was not giving up. I wanted my time with Laura. And the program is open now. The cart closes on Friday the 31st of August, and then it's going away. So please don't hesitate. As Laura says, you're definitely going to get something out of this. There's no question. Awesome. Thank you, everybody.